may want to be she who writes it. This is my opinion. I'm saying my opinion. My opinion is somebody else has written that list and linked it, and she's not happy about it.
You alright, my Keisha?
Yeah.
I don't think I can listen to them no more. I'm going to turn them off now because they keep going on about this book and he's dragging it out for clout and numbers. That's all he's doing. It's so boring.
Yeah, just ignore it. Do you know what I thought tonight?
He's made that up. That's his page, whatever it is. That's his. Taking notes of him. He's a fucking clown.
Yeah, I'm not going to take... But do you know what the really sad part is? This live, what she's just had, what they've just had there is very valuable because it's going to be so interesting to put this evidence right in front of their eyes. To sit there and listen to them spread all that misinformation is quite scary.
I wasn't happy you went over, so don't ever do that again. Can't do that. If people want, they come to your live.
Things like, I'm not going to say anything too much, but I'm disappointed in Tom and, the community, obviously. Not Nanny Bird or Jamie Lee, but we're talking about if the rules were reversed, it would have been a different situation. And on top of that, they are minimising very serious...
Don't half add on to things on here. Exaggerate.
Yeah, minimising serious crimes against children. And on top of that, questioning what's going on and spreading misinformation. Now, what I like is to listen to them on them lives, do all that tonight, and then put the evidence. So then I can go on my live now, we can get the video of what they've done tonight, and we can break it down and show the viewers how much misinformation, and when they're not in control, with how they will manipulate anything to try and get you in the box, to try and rage bait you. So they're in control of the narrative, and they've outgrown me now. I'm sorry, they used to be quite interesting, but listening to them even lose reviews this morning, do you know, she was more questioning what I've done with the police and what I've been saying on my lives. I'm bigging up Sharon, the woman that's just been arrested for trying to have a child mutilated. Now, this is what we're going to be getting into.
Yeah, it's what we're up against.
Yeah,
this is what you come up against on here.
Yeah, we've got the evidence. So when we've got Lou's reviews laughing this morning on her live because I've had a woman arrested because a child has been threatened to be mutilated, people must come and find us to mutilate us, which has really sent distressing shocks, and will be to a lot of people, because look what's happened in Belfast tonight with that young man on the floor, somebody trying to behead him, and you've got Sharon Maud calling for people to find me and my daughter to take out our body parts. You cannot laugh and use that for entertainment. It's a very
and someone did phone the police on that, and someone wanting to on a live view. Then so what? So you should be protected by the police. That's what they're there for.
What I have to do now is I have to be very professional whilst this situation is fully investigated. So what's going to happen to me now is they will rage bait me. They'll try to get me in the live. They'll minimise. Yeah, they'll minimise any little work that I do to try and make me feel small. But they've done a very bad job tonight. True Crime Tom and Ratcatcher in that live, spreading all that misinformation. And the thing is, Tom, you need to be able to have the receipts in front of you instead of listening to people and then going on your own platforms or different platforms to spread misinformation. Unfortunately, Tom, you've got yourself quite in a loophole tonight. And you also, Ratcatcher, as well, not just on top of you spreading all that misinformation, but accusing me of being behind this list that I've never set my eyes on. So it's quite interesting to listen to yous. I'm a single mother, Tom, and I just don't understand why you are weaponising the situation when children are involved. It should be a situation where you shouldn't be using it on your panels as currency. You should not be minimising what Sharon's been saying to people on social media and the impact in what bullying actually causes, True Crime Tom. Bullying is a big word, Tom, and I'm sure you sit there and you speak to your children, or you've been spoke to by your parents about bullying, Tom, and you've said out of your own mouth, Tom, the charges, because you and Ratcatcher seem to know what the charges are. And you said tonight that the charges were because Sharon's been bullying. The seriousness of these offences, Tom, is not for me to come up in panels and be playing hopscotch. We haven't come this far to be going back and forth because we owe you nothing, Tom. So please, respectfully, when I give the evidence, people are going to realise that you are spreading misinformation and lied up on these panels and basically try to minimise this whole situation of children being mutilated in such a way. And the receipts don't lie as well, Tom. And as well, I want to say this to you, Tom, as well, because honestly, it's really shocking that you guys have done all these investigations and can't get these things right. Now, Tom, I do want to say this to you. You need to get it right. Now, when a person gets arrested, they get arrested. And that's nothing to do with you, because you're not the person that's been arrested. Now, a woman said tonight, well, how did she know? Why did she was telling people that this was happening and it was going to happen? Well, how did you think I knew before I knew? And this is what I'm saying. Because of the seriousness of these offences and what's been going on social media, not just recently, but for quite some time, the police, I've had their personal number. So any updates go straight through to the actual officer that's investigating one of these individuals. That's obviously from Accrington. And I'm not going to say no more. You don't need to know what's been seized. Ratcatcher, you went up there and spread misinformation today and told people that Sharon has had nothing seized and you've seen everything, and she showed you all this and that. You was giving all the reports out today, and what you were spreading was misinformation. And like I said, I'm the one with the evidence. You're not in contact with the police officer. You're not in contact with anybody in the case. How would you know what's going on? Surely I would be the one first before any of yous on alongside of Sharon, which she's going to obviously manipulate the situation, which is fair. But you don't know anything, Ratcatcher. I'm the victim, and so is my daughter. So please stop spreading misinformation, because when these receipts get put out with the actual evidence, the transcripts, the evidence in black and white, what are you going to say then? You wasn't there, Ratcatcher. You don't know what's happening. And please stop laughing at me, because I made the decision to ring the police on somebody that had wanted my child to be hunted down and mutilated. I'm sorry, Lou, if that's funny. I'm sorry if you find that funny and you're bigging a woman up that wanted a 13-year-old mutilated. I'm sorry that you have them kind of awarenesses and them kind of FYP conversations. Watching you this morning, laughing and giggling, Lou's reviews, about me going to the police because a woman has racially abused me. Now, let me say this to you, Lou. Imagine somebody saying that they're going to mutilate you, or they want people to find you to mutilate you. Now, if the police allowed that, then everybody would be doing it, Lou's reviews. It's like pass the parcel. It's like Chinese whispers. Just like with what happened with that guy tonight, and what's happened many of times of people doing things that are not normal. What we shouldn't even be thinking about in our minds. When my dad committed his crimes, I was in care. My dad was that much of a serious guy. I couldn't be around any of the family. So when you're going to go up somewhere, even if I'm speaking and I'm talking about my own situation, I'm not asking you to go to your panels to have an opinion on it and run with it. I'm not asking you to say anything about it because it's nothing to do with you, especially when it's to do with children. So Lose Reviews, my question is this. Why are you using my 13-year-old daughter as currency on your platform this morning? And why are you laughing and giggling at the fact that I've rung the police on a woman that has wanted people to hunt me down to take mine and my daughter's insides out? You just answer me that question. How is that acceptable, Lose Reviews? Can you go back and watch your replay? Because that replay with what you've done in that live today, Lou, and how you acted over finding out that a parent had rung the police on a woman and she's now been arrested for these serious offences towards children and including myself. And you find this shocking, more shocking, that I've got Sharon arrested and Sharon's in this situation. But you're not shocked at the fact of she's in this situation because she ordered for people to find me and my daughter to have us mutilated. Answer that, Lose Reviews. So why are you speaking about this situation when it's something to do with a child? Who gave you the right to speak about this situation? And it doesn't matter. I need you to understand. If I am on my platform and I speak about situations, yes, it's public. But the reality is it doesn't give you the right to peep your nose in my business. It doesn't give you the right to get your letters and send them off into the post box. It doesn't give you the right to involve yourself in anybody's business to have an opinion, especially when it's to do with children. True Crime Tom, listening to you tonight. Do you know, Tom, I am a very smart woman and I can see through everything. Unfortunately, this is where I am. All the rage baiting tonight, the, repeating yourself to get a reaction, doing the list, saying all these dramatic things, gaslighting the viewers, holding and clutching on to the littlest thing, which is this list, which we don't know who's made, Tom. These are all the fake assumptions, not even assumptions. These are all the fake theories that you was putting out on Nanny Bird's panel tonight, Tom. And you need to understand, Tom, if I would have said I wanted somebody else's children to have been mutilated, you wouldn't have been sat on that panel tonight, laughing and giggling and having all of this confidence. You would have been ordering for me to have been taken down off of this social media platform. And this is the disgusting part. And Mary, honestly, I'm not going to be rude the way you've been rude to me. I'm not going to do that to you, honestly, because mental health is real. And I've been there. And I know what it's like. But I want to say this to you, Mary. The thing about me is, even though I'm a bitch, I still know how to keep it real to people's faces. You were sat and have been sat on the panel with me and Warrior for quite some time, and you have engaged and interacted with some of our lives to the point where you've even dragged people down. The other day, Tom and his team wanted to go for this kind of scenario that they don't bully, and they're this changed community, and that we're all bringing down Lose Reviews because we're speaking the truth about her past. Metaphorically speaking, it wasn't good enough because we did bring some of the past and we did say quite a few words which shouldn't have really have been said. Even though it was the truth, we could have stuck to the facts and receipts. and done what we'd done. So they had the upper hand to be able to go on the live the next day and victimise this whole situation and make us look like bullies. That's fine. But tonight showed that the other day there was only calling for this drama to stop. There was only calling for people to stop being bullied and targeted and, you know, these repeat attacks on others. And for this kind of situations to actually stop. Finally, somebody's been arrested. Finally, somebody's devices, and it might not be all of them, but some of their devices have been seized. And it doesn't matter how many, Tom. It doesn't matter when it happened. It doesn't matter where it happened. A crime has been committed. Okay, Tom? This is what we're here for. This is why you do awarenesses, Tom. And this is unfortunate that you took this situation and twisted it into your dangerous little antics when all of this, Tom, is going to backfire like you don't even realise. Because the way I'm going to minimise all of this is just listening in to what you're saying, because you're not going to get a response. Tom, I've come too far to go back down to give you or anybody else that kind of response. I've already had the breakdown. I've already gone through the ringer. I know what I'm prepared when you want to do awareness lives. I know why you can't let go and keep your foots off my necks. I know why it's okay for you not to shit stir with any other friendships, but anywhere I sit, it's let's go up there and destroy Lakeisha, but we can have conversations with everybody else about getting along. Some of these individuals that constantly go up on these platforms and attack me, it's a them issue. This niche situation, you want a platform off the back of my name, and I'm okay with that, because everybody will realise that the panel that you're sat on is off the back of me. Understand that first and foremost. Just like a lot of these people that have wanted to come up off the back of my name. On top of that, Mary, let's go back into the other night. And I don't really like to jog people's memories. I don't like to sit here and tell people what they've done in their past. But as you want to sit up and be a phony and act all holy and have all this hate for no reason when I've showed you nothing but kindness, I want to ask you a question. Why did you write a 7-course meal on your story, right? Basically aiming it at me, Lauren and Warrior, but didn't mention yourself. Because guess what, Mary? You also was on that panel with me and Warrior and Lauren slagging Nanny Bird down to the ground. But your hands are clean. The next day the statement went up and your name was dusted from that statement. And you came up on these panels and you went over to Tom's side and you went, I can't believe these bullies. What kind of women degrade other women? What kind of women put other people down, making yourself look like you haven't sat there and said the worst about some of these individuals, Mary? And do you know what I did, Mary? I got me back up, but I didn't say anything to you. And what did you say? Let me come up again when somebody else is getting... Because you know what I've noticed about you, Mary? What I've noticed about you, yeah, is when I pulled up to that place the other day, you didn't like that. You didn't like that I pulled up to Nisha and she wasn't there. You didn't like that. You didn't. Right? Where was Nisha? When I pulled up onto that main road, where if you parked on it, you'd have to put your hazard lights on. So where was Nisha? Let's be real. Okay? Where was she? Because when I went to that house, them flats, she was nowhere to be seen. Okay? And I'm not wanting to be sliced with what they were threatening to do to me. I don't want to be dead. I've got a daughter. Have a fight if you're wanting to come down because you'd been threatening me all day. But you knew you wasn't coming to my address. You knew that that wasn't my address. And like I said again, Nisha, you wanted to gain a platform off the back of me. You thought coming down to Leeds was going to hit that day. Even today's live, you thought it was going to hit. But you see, Jenny carries negativity. I swear to God she does. She will drain the life out of anybody. And I'm not nitpicking at you, Jenny. You do. You honestly do. Everything you go around, you touch, you squeak, you scream, you shout, you absolutely destroy everything. And you think that you know best, but the reality is you know nothing. And that's why you're always giving something up and stuck in the same position. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now, Jenny? You give things out, but you're still stuck in the same position. And guess what, Jenny? Do you know when you thought tonight that the laugh was going to be on me and Geraldine and Warrior? The laugh actually turned around on you. And big up to Blue Heart for going in there and telling her about herself at that very moment. That's what you call karma, Jenny. Because when you're going to sit there behind the scenes and you're going to want people to carry on bullying me because you don't like the fact that you can't take me out, you're not going to take over with the coven, Jenny. You're not going to do that, Jenny. And I know last night it was hard, Jenny, hearing me speak some facts about you wanting to beg Jessica to go over there and have her in the coven because you've got no morals. And of course you'll go over there and sit with somebody that stalks children. You didn't like that. So it's now we need to get rid of Keisha. So we need to bring that person up. We need to bring that person up. We need to bring that Scouse person up to say, we don't like Keisha. Because you're all paid, most of you that go up there, especially Scousers, you're paid actresses. Okay? Now, Nisha, the thing is, babe, I don't have an issue with you, but you have the biggest one with me. And that's something that you're going to have to deal with. I'm going to sleep good tonight. And I'm not going to worry about anything. Because you know, Nisha, when I put things in place, things actually move. When I envision something and I, get receipts or, something lands on my desk, I've got the patience, Nisha. And Jenny as well. But you see, because you're hanging around Jenny, Nisha, she doesn't have no patience. And everything has to be out on the table all at once. So you'll never be able to hold on to anything when you've got her around. Just giving you a bit of advice. You know, like how you wanted to give us a bit of advice tonight, Nisha? Seeing as you don't watch anything and you've got a life. Yeah, a life on TikTok. Watching us behind the screen. Pure bitterness. I would say, if I've done something recent, come for me. If I've said something a week ago, come for me. Nobody has no right to lie on somebody's name. And most of the things that have come out of your mouth, Nisha, have been lies about me. Look at my daughter situation. You told people 48 hours ago that you was actually screaming. That I'm not allowed to be my daughter's custody. That my kid's dad's got full custody, Nisha. But my daughter's in bed right now. So I don't understand how you're able to come up on live with this misinformation and people want to take you seriously. You're talking about everybody else's business and mental health, Nisha. But you was the one that got in your car with another 2 people and drove all the way to Leeds, at an address you knew I didn't live at, made a scene, wasn't there when I turned up, and after 1 o'clock tomorrow when I do this 2-hour interview, you're pretty much fucked. So why would I have to react back to whatever you say on your lives now, Nisha? Why would I have to go up on my live and say, well, do you know what? Nisha's this, Nisha's that, Nisha... No, I don't need to do any of that, Nisha. You made the mistake by thinking that you was a tough girl, knowing full well that you wasn't coming to my address. So imagine in your head when you're sat in that cell dealing with these consequences, you didn't see me. You knew in your head, which you won't say to the viewers, but you knew in your head that that wasn't my address. And what did you really gain out of it? Now, if you want to talk about me as a mother, you've got to question why I didn't come to Liverpool for you and you came all the way to Liverpool for me. So you've got to question, if you're going to question me as a mother, right, and my ability to parent, I'm going to question you, well, why did you leave your children with so-and-so to come to Leeds to have my throat slit? I don't understand that, Nisha. So I know that I'm not mentally unstable. I know that I wouldn't get in my car to go to Liverpool to go and slice anybody's throat because I have a beautiful daughter. I have mummy duties and I have things that I've got to look forward to. I wouldn't put myself in any of them situations, Nisha. So you're upset with the consequences you've now landed yourself in, not me. And you're going to keep sitting up there until you think you're going to get a response out of me. But do you know why I'm not going to give you a response, Nisha? I'll tell you two things why. I haven't seen you for a long time, and every time you've come for me, I haven't said anything about you. You've even come up to panels and inserted yourself when people have been talking about me and it's nothing to do with me and you. That's number one. Number two, I see right through your eyes. I do. And it's full of, you're miserable. You are sad inside. You have been for quite some time. That's why when you take your photos, if you actually look at yourself, you're not happy. I've been there before. You know, you can look stunning in the body. You can have all the makeup in the world. You can get your eyelashes done. You can get your nails done. But you just don't have that glow. Because you're just riddled with envy and hate. And something inside of me, Nisha, burns you. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the confidence. I don't know if it's the look. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to pinpoint and sit here and even try to think about what it is. But you need to sit here and realise, Nisha, that you've caused all this with yourself. Because you wasn't my enemy. I don't care about you, Nisha. I wouldn't go on a panel, Nisha, and start setting up lives and doing full awarenesses on you. I'm only reacting back because you've started making lives. And now all of a sudden, it's Little Lakeisha's show. When do you want to stop bullying me? You've just done all them lives with Katie Hardy. You spent months trying to drag me to the ground. Made lies on top of lies on top of lies, and I didn't even get a chance to defend myself. And because a couple of people won't drop me, and a couple of people want to support me and stay around me, because they don't have to judge everything what everybody does in life. Maybe some people don't want to judge people. Maybe some people just want to think about themselves. And who are you to tell them what to do, what to think, and how to be? Because if that was the reverse and somebody were telling you what to do, you wouldn't like it. So what's happening right now on this app is Geraldine is being bullied. Okay? And she's the only one right now. Forget about me. Okay? I'm fine. I know exactly how to deal with these vultures. This is why I'm in the situation that I'm in, and they're in the position that they're in. Now, at the end of the day, what they're going to go for now is the monetization on Geraldine's live. Geraldine's supporters, and what they'll start with is the narcissism ways, what Nisha was doing tonight. Basically making people believe that they're just there to, you know, be used as money, cash cows. And that she has really sat there, Nisha, and watched Geraldine's live to the point where she's questioning every penny that Geraldine's been making, which I find quite concerning, because it's nothing to do with anybody what I've spent my money on. It's nothing to do with anybody. Nobody at all. And Nisha, there's been quite some times that you've gone on your own panel and you've been begging for unis and gifts. How could you have the hypocrisy to run around and speak about Geraldine and her panel and what she's achieving? Why should she sit there for all of these hours and give us these lives, what we rely on, where we make friends, where we want to sit and not have people like you or Jenny bringing us down? So you want to now create this little seed, don't you, Nisha? So people don't want to give Geraldine gifts. And then the other live, it was all about Geraldine and what she was making. And this is the thing. This can either go two ways. There's nothing that Geraldine does for anybody to walk away from her. Because guess what? She's like me. She doesn't start anything. Things get brought to her door and she has no reason but then to fire back. And what happens when she fires back? They come with the victim card. And unfortunately, guys, it's expired. It's expired. Okay? Now, why is everybody questioning Geraldine, but you're not questioning yourselves when your hands are dirty as well? It's funny when all eyes are on a different person and nothing gets said to Geraldine for weeks. And then when as soon as something doesn't go one of your ways, it's take it out on Geraldine like Mary Daughter tonight. I'm not coming up here to cause any trouble, Geraldine. I know you don't want that on your platform. And then has all this shit to say in riddles. Be a woman and face me or face Warrior and say it with chest. Stop speaking to Geraldine in codes, making people feel uncomfortable when she doesn't want the drama on her lives. And when you're doing that and we respond, Mary, it's then, look, they're causing drama. So you're allowed to rage bait, you're allowed to say the most, and when I pipe up, it's Geraldine, she's bad. We don't want no drama in here. But why did you start in order for me to finish it? This is what I don't understand, Mary. Why did you switch on me? For what? What was it, Mary, that pissed you off? Because what did I do that really put you into this kind of disgusting mood to even be doing phony post directly aimed at us women when you was a part of that live? How could you go over to Tom's live and sit in Lose Review's face when only weeks ago you were saying the most about her? But yet, we are terrible women that don't have any morals, and nobody should sit with us because we did this one live on Lou. Make that make sense, Mary. Are you forgetting what you were saying with us? Are you forgetting that you entered the box and had a massive giggle with us that night? Do you know what we sat back and said? She must have dementia. She must have dementia. Because how could you be on a panel slagging somebody down and the next day you make these posts, you take yourself over to the other side and you're sitting there like you're holy? You know what really got to me tonight, Mary? You know why I didn't shout? Because, Mary, you send me posts, holy posts, every morning. Out of everybody, I know I'm going to receive one of them posts from you. How have you got all of this hate if you're supposed to be showing us how to empower people, how to love, how to heal, how to be better? How are you trying to tell everybody else to be better, not to drag people down, not to be nasty, and to be mindful of these very same words of what you said on your post, but yet you're giving it out to me, giving it out to Warrior, giving it out to people's friends, then went on another panel and you had Sarah give it out to you. Now you've even got more hate inside of you and you're arguing with somebody else that said the word cancer tonight. That should have been something, Tom. You should have stopped and had an awareness on. But yet you continued to minimise these serious charges and a case that has nothing to do with you, which involves a minor. And you was also spreading the misinformation. All of this has consequences, whether you like it or not. I don't play. I did try and say as much as I could say, and sometimes I can't say everything, so I have to speak in riddles. and not give everything out. Watching you tonight, Ratcatcher, as well. Your behaviour tonight, very concerning. Your behaviour tonight shocked, Tom. Shocked. Disgraced. Absolutely shocked with your behaviour tonight, Tom. Disgusted. Shameful. Okay? And this is something that I'm not going to forget. Ratcatcher as well, with your, behaviour as well tonight. Speaking on something so serious, involves children, with these serious offences, and the misinformation also that you was putting out tonight, that's going to cost you as well. And there's consequences to that. Now, Lou's Reviews, I do want to educate you on a few things that we've spoke about with the lawyer. When it comes to situations like this, a lot of things get taken into place. So I've received a letter which I've had to fill in, and it basically goes through the next step of what's going to be happening. Now, Lou, I am fine to say that what I am looking for the outcome of this is to never be bullied again, to never be slandered without facts and receipts, to never be racially abused again, to never be hunted down to want to be mutilated. And what happens, Lou, is when you are going through these serious crimes, and unfortunately with my daughter being involved with this and its digital footprint, what comes with that is compensation, which has come up in conversations which I don't need to discuss with you. Now, also, Lou's Reviews, what's also come up in these conversations with the lawyers and other people I'm not even going to speak to you about. What's also come up into it is they've also told me the second half of it. So, the mental health side of things, all of that doesn't come out now. So it doesn't come out in the reports now. It comes out when all of this goes to court. And that will be put in front of a judge as well. So that won't be used right now. You also put more misinformation, Tom, about tomorrow. Now, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Tom, because I should be giving you the updates, not Ratcatcher, because she's nothing to do with this situation. She hasn't spoke to anybody. She's giving misinformation out. Tom, I have an appointment with Merseyside Police, and I also have an appointment with Leeds Police for 2 hours tomorrow, and I will be providing all of the evidence of what went down the other day. I was threatened, and also my throat was threatened to be sliced and my torso be ripped out, on top of wanting my brother to be stabbed. I just want you to think about this, Tom, when you are spreading misinformation. If Nisha would have come to the property, if that would have been my house, and that woman would have sliced my throat, I would have been left without a daughter, and a daughter would have been left without a mother. Them women would have been arrested for murder. And it would have been a really terrible situation. But yeah, you don't have any energy for that. And people are already questioning about the police, which is very scary. I hope, Tom, that you go through your life and you don't have to endure any of this. Because, Tom, when something happens to you, which God forbid, I hope it doesn't, and you have your story to tell next, no one's going to listen to you. No one's going to want to care. Because you've mocked and sat up there and minimised and spoke about a case involved in a minor. You spoke about things that you don't know nothing about. You've also accused me of being on this list that I know nothing about. And you've also spread lots of information whilst trying to chase clout off a child's being another woman wanting a child to be mutilated. You've got Lose Reviews laughing about me ringing the police and bigging up Sharon and what I'm doing with this arrest, rather than asking the questions of, let's say, for instance, somebody did hear Sharon that day and come to my house and actually do that. Like I said, the police can't allow that to happen, because if I was to sit up here, that's why in life we have to, sometimes you know when to swear. Sometimes we do say the wrong things where we regret it, but that's part of life. But we don't step out of line, do we? That's why most of us are out here and none of us are in jail. You know, maybe 60% of folk take people's lives. The other 40% don't. So we know what's right and wrong within society. And if we started allowing racism, we started allowing people to have these kind of conversations publicly, then it opens the doors for people then to think that this is normal. Now, Tom, there's a lot of children on this platform, and I don't want them thinking what Sharon Maud said is normal. I don't want anybody hunting my 13-year-old daughter down, Tom, to take her body parts out of her stomach. And you are minimising and gaslighting and involving yourself in a situation which is public, but you have no rights to an opinion. You're making assumptions. You're running with narratives. You're trying to rage bait the viewers. And you're using this mini list, which I'm not going to sit here tonight and say you've come up with, because I'll be running straight into your narrative. But you need to understand, Tom, these topics, it's not for currency. It shouldn't be for your own special entertainment. You need to grow up. And if you want to be a part of any of these awarenesses by outing people and trying to have an opinion on other people having an opinion on Lose Reviews, let's speak about that conversation, Tom. You were sat on a panel the other day discussing to a lot of viewers how you lot have changed, and you were trying to paint yourself as these, good people that want to save the world. And because we were sat on our panel speaking the truth about Lose Reviews lying about cancer, wanting her ex-boyfriend to give her a black eye, writing a death letter, and the list goes on. I said a few things, which I'm not going to mention again, which shouldn't have been mentioned. And unfortunately, it was the truth. Should it have been said, some of it? Maybe not. But did I scream and shout the next day and be a phony? Or did I really mean what I said and wasn't going to backtrack and boil down to your hidden agendas? Which was, Tom, to create this narrative that everybody was bullying Lou. But you couldn't help yourself with this situation, Tom. And you've showed yourself for what you are. You're back to being a bully. So the question is, Tom, how can you put on this great, fantastic line the other day about everybody getting along and putting the past in the past, moving forward and not having any of this hate, not doing these negative lives, not spreading misinformation, not gaslighting the viewers, not rage baiting people. This is a serious subject, Tom, to do with my 13-year-old daughter, because Sharon Maud wanted people to find us to have our body parts taken out of our stomachs. And you are running around this app acting like the police have been ringing your phone, giving you updates and demanding for me to tell you exactly what's going on, whilst telling the viewers that none of Sharon's devices have not been seized because she showed you them all and she's been on the lives. You are spreading misinformation. And also, Tom, what you should have been sat down thinking, but unfortunately you couldn't because you can't fucking help yourself. You should have been sat there thinking, well, to be honest, we need to really wait here because Lakeisha, obviously, me and my daughter are the victims. We're going to have the fucking evidence. We're going to have the evidence. So, Mrs. Maud, she has a right to tell you what she wants to tell you. And that's fine. But then there's also my side. And until you see the proof, you should not be spreading misinformation. Now, guess what, Tom? If I would have been arrested yesterday for trying to have any one of your children with what she said, they would have been rage on the internet. And you would have all said the worst things about me. Honestly, you wouldn't have had all this airtime, Ratcatcher. You know, repeating yourself because you want a reaction out of Lakeisha. You see, Ratcatcher, you haven't lived in care, have you? I know you've gone through things in your life, which I'm not going to mention on social media. Is it Caroline? Or is that Laura MD? We'll stick to Ratcatcher for now. But I know you've gone through a lot of things in your life as well. And I know for you, this is entertainment, speaking about children's traumas and obviously children being mutilated. And you find this funny. You find this funny for clout. And that's fine because you're supposed to be a woman that protects children. And you're around a lot of hunting communities as well. And what you've given today as well, on top of what was said in Lou's reviews this morning, which we are going to get into, quite an interesting live from the both of you today. You have shown signs of desperation at such serious, tragic events. Why did you not question what Sharon's been arrested for? And actually get into the topics of what was said? Because it's public, you see. I've spoke about it, Tom, so it's not like we can't speak about it and you can't, give that theory out. It's public knowledge. And can people stop telling me what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do? And please, for the woman that said, well, how did she know all of this before? Well, that's none of your business. I have been sat on the panels for weeks and also in a lot of conversations in the background. And a lot of people have been aware about all of this. I can go put my hand on the Bible. So, Tom, this isn't just news that's, new news publicly. But in the background, certain individuals knew about one person. The 9 individuals, there's only 2 individuals that know that. And that's me and Warrior. And them people that were on that so-called list, I haven't even had arguments with. I haven't even been in contact with them. And to be honest, I don't even remember who was on the list because I wasn't interested in that, Tom. A woman has just been arrested for bullying me for the past 2 years. You know why, Tom? Sharon Maud went on social media and told you all that she had a Sarah's law on me. And that was a lie, Tom. Sharon Maud racially abused me. And I'm never going to forget that. It's done damage mentally and emotionally. She ordered for me and my daughter to be mutilated, our body parts, and that has left me distressed with severe mental health. My daughter is going to obviously be digital footprint, and she will be compensated because she had nothing to do with this. And her name is on social media because of this individual and what she's put us through. Anything else with the damages is something that I'm going to have to live with. And you are minimising it, Tom. And I hope, even with your story, Ratcatcher, and what you've been through, and what Laura MD's been through, you would have thought speak so much about domestic violence and, you know, kidding people, doxing children, and being these fantastic people that solve all these crimes, I don't understand why you have involved yourself in a investigation that has gone to these levels. And I do not understand why you are having conversations about my 13-year-old daughter and this case, and you are spreading misinformation. I can't get my head around that. Now, I'm expecting a full apology tomorrow for the lies that you said in that live today, Tom, about me being behind that account. I'm expecting you to take full responsibility for the misinformation and the gaslighting, what you've done in that live today. Now, with the other misinformation and you getting yourself involved with something you know nothing about, and even if I have spoke about something, that's your fault and stupidness and immaturity to go around like fucking sheep. Like you are speaking for the World Cup and speak all this shit out of your mouth. And we're watching you go out round and roundabout and round and making fools out of yourselves. I'm asking you respectfully, Tom. Leave me alone. If you don't have anything nice to say about me and my daughter or any of these cases, then I'm respectfully asking you to leave me alone and to not involve yourself in situations you don't have the receipts on. You don't have the proof. Okay? So you don't have the right to go up there, and you were doing more than assuming tonight. Have the facts and the receipts. Don't spread misinformation, Ratcatcher. Stop speaking about children's cases because it's nothing to do with you, Ratcatcher. It's not your child. Learn from your mistakes. I know you want me gone, Tom, and I've sat here sometimes and thought to myself, how have I managed to always escape these mean people that just constantly want to drag me down, constantly want to eat and bite at me for a response? And I've realised, Keisha, all this time, and they're still going at you. And even when you're good and you ignore it and you ignore it and you ignore it, still find something to pick. And you know what, Tom? I am not the issue. I'm just unbeatable. And that's something that you and your team is never going to come to terms with. And you will keep picking at me and picking at me and picking at me and picking at me. But I can sit back now and say this, Tom, I don't need to give anything, nothing anymore. I've done a whole year fighting for my life, justice, and to put things right on my name. Try to put things better even when I was going on and on and on and over everything. Now I can have some kind of relief, Tom, with these investigations and the help that I've been receiving from these professionals and from the police. They're listening. They can see I'm being bullied, that I've reacted. I don't go up on my live and start bullying people for nothing. I only go up on my lives to do this when you've said something about me. So anytime anybody's reported me, they can never say, well, she went on a live and she just started going at us. No, I've gone back at you. A lot of lies have been said about me, and I'm not here to clear them all up. I'm going to let the lawyers, the police, the courts, and all the other people that are in charge deal with it. I no longer have to lose sleep, Tom. I no longer have to count my days, Tom. And it's not tit for tat. Jessica, I am disgusted with you today. Not the dad part, the other stuff that you were saying. The racism. I was disgusted. But do you know what I was disgusted about, Jess? You wanted me sectioned because I had Sharon arrested. So you wanted to you've mass reported me to the mental health team to have me sectioned because I've done the right thing and got somebody arrested that's come on social media, being recorded saying all these things and expecting them to be no consequences to it. Can you just answer me that question? Because that doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't understand, Jess, why you would want to put in these fake reports to have me sectioned when, do you know what the section people are going to say? Well, why do we need to section Lakeisha when she's done what we've asked her to do? She's rung the police and reported a crime. So, should we section Lakeisha because she's rung the police and reported a crime? Jess, honestly. Jess, please, stop using the mental health services to, make things better. Because them services are dealing with a lot of people, okay? And it's wasting resources. Just because I've rung the police on these individuals and, done what I've done because I have a right to do what I've done. They've worked for months in gangs and bullied me. And they're shocked now that they're getting the repercussions and I'm not. That's what it is. They're shocked that they all put these police reports in for the past 2 years and none of them amounted to nothing. You know why? Because the police have watched me being bullied. They saw a single mother single-handedly take you all on. And I've done what I've said to the police on the phone months ago. I'm going to take this into my own hands. I don't know if anybody were there when I told yous. We're going to be going on a long road and there'll be an ending to this. This is the ending. I can be free now. My family come round today. I made dinner for us. I've got the friends that I want. I know that I want a long friendship with Warrior. I know exactly what I want to be. I know what I want to do. I'm more engaged with getting out now since I've been on Geraldine's. I'm getting more my confidence back. I'm more because they ostracised me from society, made me feel like I wasn't worth it, or I wasn't good enough, or anything that I was putting out. They said I thought I was a lawyer, that I am mean, that I'm angry, because when they come for me, I will go for them 10 times harder. And it's unfortunate for them. They can't handle it, they can't hack it. But that's not for me to worry about. There's nothing to worry about now, because everything is now within the authority hands. And Katie, darling, you went on Lose Reviews this morning, and I'll tell you why you went on that. You are in some serious shit, because you was also a domestic violence advocate that was advocating for Nisha and her friends to come down to slit my throat. You're in all them videos with Nisha, orchestrating them lives. And you're going to go up to that live today and say things like, well, it's all going to backfire on Lakeisha. Well, Katie, the law doesn't work like that, sweetheart. You can't just start putting reports in today because a person's got somebody arrested. It don't work like that, babe. Unfortunately, with your situation, what the police did is they said, well, we need to look at all the situation with what Lakeisha did about the Hardys. And you know what the police said, Katie? They said this. They said, Lakeisha, do you know what Lakeisha did? Before Lakeisha got on this app, right, Katie Hardy and Darren Hardy was screen recorded by a lot of people way before Lakeisha Black come on the scene. Katie Hardy and Darren Hardy were on their own panels, being screen recorded because they were on a public platform, okay? Way before Lakeisha come around. These videos that are circulating about Darren and Kate are nothing to do with Lakeisha. Now, when Lakeisha come around, and this is why the police have never arrested me and will not arrest me, because I've done nothing wrong, and I'll tell you why I've done nothing wrong, and I'll tell you why Katie has wanted to spin this narrative for all this time and use me only as the scapegoat. Now, Katie, basically, all I did was when I come on the app, I came across a video, which I'm not going to go get into what particular video it was, but I found it quite distressing. I went down a rabbit hole, and the things that I was seeing as a person in car, I could not say anything. And if you do not want to listen to this, I suggest you go out now. As a person that's lived in car, I will always stand up for children. And if a child can't have a voice, I will be the voice. And if I know a mother also can't have a voice, I will be her voice as well. I will be that support system. And I will say it with chest. What happened was when I come across these videos, I then started putting some receipts together. And these receipts on Katie and Darren were solely based on where all this money had gone that they'd been given by the viewers and what was donated and what was gifted and what they'd won within the weeklies. Now, all I ever asked for was where were the receipts, and spoke about a DV centre that was never set up and also went into charity money that was never accounted for. I can sit back and say to myself, I did not regret one of them awarenesses. Now, a lot of people were a part of these awarenesses asking for these receipts about the money. And like a lot of other creators, top creators, Pearl, Luke the Judge, and even to the point where this guy had his house smashed up because he was posting the Hardy's child. He was doing too much with monetizing off the Hardys by putting posts upon his page. He started saying lots of terrible stuff about Sam, and it went absolutely nuts. Now, any of the videos that I've done of the Hardys are on the FYP, and it's just me asking for the receipts and reading some information that's already been put out on social media. Now, one day I went to the police station and I explained to them that I was doing awarenesses on the Hardys, and they told me to explain exactly what I was doing. So I explained that I'd been camping and doing awarenesses on these videos that have been circulating on social media. So nothing that was not above social media, only what had been put out already about the Hardys. So all I was doing is what everybody else does in their investigation. You know, find stuff on the FYP and then takes it up on your panel and speaks about it. I just did what everybody else has done, right? Now, still till this day, we have never heard about these receipts, because that's why I was used as a scapegoat, because Katie didn't want to provide the receipts because there was no receipts to provide. She was telling the viewers for years, well, both of them, that they will provide these receipts at this time and that time. And then it's, I can't do this because I've got a court case. I can't provide that, but I can talk about Isla's mum. I can say that she's a druggie. I can put all this social services stuff out. I can play all these recordings of Isla's mum, but I can't put any receipts out because it's all a court situation. This is what Katie's been running with Darren for months. Now, we all know Darren and Katie's child, unfortunately, was on palliative care, and was on palliative care way before I did any of these awarenesses. Now, we did a live at one point because Darren had gone to the funeral services and set the funeral up, and also received some money, contributions towards the donation of this funeral. Now, Katie and True Crime Tom, and a couple of other individuals have gone around on this platform and said that I'm the reason for their child dying, and that I trolled a dying child. This is what Katie Hardy has said out of her mouth. Now, I just want you to look up the offence of accusing somebody of the murder of a child's passing when it's to do with something so serious, as we all know on this platform, how that tragedy occurred, and it was nothing to do with me. Now, Tom and Lou's reviews, you really need to understand again how the law works. Katie, after 9 months, because the police, what I was doing wasn't a criminal offence, because all I was doing was getting the recordings of what they've been, if they've been drunk on the lies, if they've been crying to each other, if he's cheated on Katie like how he did and had that other woman, you know, all the receipts about the money. All I did was ask for the receipts and show the recordings of Katie and Darren. Not once did I ever post their child on my platform. Not once did I ever post their child on my page and monetize off of it. Now, I know a couple of pages like Tom Baines and DHB and a lot of other accounts that did post the child, did monetize with the gifts on, and also on their pages. Now, what happened was, after about 9 months, because Katie couldn't get me arrested by the police and there was no crimes committed, because whatever they'd done was on social media and it was a public platform, Katie then paid for a lawyer's letter. So all this lawyer's letter was basically, don't say anything about her. And if you do, it could potentially go to civil court. Now, there was no civil court case, because everything that I'd said was what's come out of their mouth. Well, if you've said you've got a hot tub, but then you're saying you've had this, well, I'm just questioning what you've said out of your mouth. If you've got that amount of money, I'm just questioning what you've said you've spent it on. I'm not doing anything criminal. Take me to fucking civil court. So what I did is, when she sent me that letter, it's not the fact that I couldn't have come up, because I could have come up and spoke about Darren all day long. The letter only existed for Katie, so I didn't need to stop any of them awarenesses. I decided that I did enough with them awarenesses, okay? Because I wanted to do enough, Katie, not because you wanted to stop me, okay? Now, after that, a year went on, and unfortunately, I didn't speak about them, didn't see them, didn't say anything. Now, after a year had gone by, unfortunately, the child had passed. And a couple of weeks later, maybe even a week, after the child's passing, maybe even a couple of days, Katie then went straight on to go and start with Pearl Price. And then Katie realised that, to be honest, she didn't really want to use Pearl and go at her and use Pearl as a scapegoat. So Pearl got away with what she was saying about the Hardys. And they sorted that out. And then Katie kind of used Pearl's platform, you know, to use me as a scapegoat to make people believe that I was the reason why this child had passed. Very serious offences, these, with what's come out of Katie's mouth. It is even stemmed up to this woman, has even tried to have other women, not even 2 days ago, come to my house to slice my throat, engaging in this kind of activity, and she's supposed to be a domestic violence advocate. So when the child had passed, I didn't know anything about that situation. And then obviously lots of people had spoke about it. Then I saw her going up on a panel. And what happened was, when she went for Pearl that day, and Pearl then flew back at her, and then she went on a live with Darren and did that live about Pearl. The next day, it was somebody else. And she wanted apologies off of everybody. And everybody gave Katie an apology except for me. And they will not receive an apology for something what you did yourselves. If you wanted to come on a public platform and you got recorded and people shoved that on the FYP, who the fuck do you think you are to think like a person like me or anybody else on this planet doesn't have a right to have an opinion on it, Katie, when you've had an opinion on everything I've fucking done recently? Give your head a wobble. You are not God's gift. I suggested that you was using the child for money. I suggested that you didn't want to show the receipts and that's why you used me as a scapegoat. You can go up and show whatever you want to show, Katie, but the truth doesn't lie. Way before I come on the scenes, Katie, thousands of people were already commenting about you and Darren and your situation, but yet you chose to lie to viewers and tell the viewers that I was the reason why your stepchild had passed away, and not one person corrected that. You had True Crime Tom putting a child's passing on me. And this is why we have to be very mindful with what we're hearing. Katie has been trying to damage me for the past couple of months. And when you're hearing her go up to lose reviews this morning, it's because she's got guilty written all over her face. And like she said this morning, she can't wait for the police to come and get her so she can tell the police all about me. That's how much the police really think I've committed crimes, Katie. You need to understand what you're saying, babe. Because if you're worried and happy for the police to come and pick you up so you can tell them all about me, why do you think they haven't said anything in the first place? Because, Katie, what I said about you and Darren was on social media. I have a right to go, if I see something and it's been posted, like how you've got a right to play any of my videos that have been posted like you have done. Why don't I have the same right to do the same thing, Katie? Why don't I have the same right to have my evidence to show that you are a liar? And you know what, Katie? You will do anything for cash. You will do anything to be in the limelight. It's in your blood. It's snatching your DNA. You are the scummiest person that I've ever come across. And you will never keep my name out of your mouth. You will keep inciting all this hate. You will keep wanting people to come down to use knives to, incite all of this hate. You want people to turn up at young mothers' addresses where their children are based. This is the kind of energy that you have because the police don't see what I've done is a crime. Because what you've said about me on social media, Katie, hasn't been the truth. And you know what, Katie? You don't like the fact that people can see through your bullshit. People can see through, you know what? If you would have told the truth and stuck to the truth and said, she did this cam too, I was going through a sad time, maybe she did do a bit of cam too, and you wouldn't have done all the extra stuff like bringing all them paid actresses up on Best Girls panel, lying about things, extravagant in things, you've made yourself look desperate. You've made yourself look absolutely silly. And I'm all here for it, Katie. I'm not here to put you down. I'm not here to try and tell anybody not to go near you or take away your friends. I'm not a bully like you, Katie. My agenda is not to ruin you. Your agenda is to ruin me. And even with all the messages what you were sending to Rob, it shows you were begging him for you both to take away the last little bit of credibility that I have. And let's not forget the message, Katie, with you saying, have you seen when Keisha comes in the room, she never says anything to me. Yeah, you said you wasn't scared, but you said I was scared. It shows I am scared of you, Katie. I'm absolutely petrified of what you are capable of. Because if you've done all these lies and you spread all this malicious communication and you are inciting for vulnerable people and mothers to come down to my house to slit my throat, to take my torso out and to have my brother stabbed up and to have people come to an address which isn't my address, which could have been my address where my beautiful little girl lays her head. You've incited this, Katie, all because people want to be my friend and you wanted to destroy me and didn't get anywhere. Because everything that you said out of your mouth, not everything, sorry, some of what you said out of your mouth were built off of lies. And people felt sorry for you because you were grieving. So I didn't really want to say to you, you're lying. They didn't want to say it to you, Katie. Because I would have done the same. I would have thought, do you know what? Fuck it. This person's grieving, so let her lie. But you done too much. And that's why you ain't getting the support. That's why you're having to run just to lose reviews. I've been out today, guys. I'm busy. No, you're not. You're watching everything, Katie. You have been for quite some time, sweetheart. So please, stop doing all the acts that you go out and you've got this life and you're all happy and, you know, your family. No, babe. No. No. You don't speak about when Darren, in this whole situation, went off with another woman. You don't speak about that. You don't speak about he was sleeping with somebody else and she's come online and you've had to find out the hard way. You don't have any energy for Amanda. But you have all this energy as a domestic violence advocate to gag a mother that's not being able to come up to a platform. Yeah? Come up to a... Come up to a platform, Katie, and speak about Sam, the mother that hasn't been able to have her voice on this platform. You painted Sam out to be a druggie, a alcoholic, a bad mother. And you're supposed to protect women. You can't speak about the receipts, but you can speak about Sam, but you've got a court case. How does that work out, Katie? So, Katie, this is the truth. You used me as a scapegoat so nobody would question you about the receipts. And it's okay, babe. We're over it now. We don't want to see them. Because you know what, Katie? We all know we were never going to see them. We know where it went. We know where it did and where it didn't. And guess what, Katie? What will eat you alive is that the fact that before I come on the scene, Katie, guess what, Katie? Look at the videos. Because them videos that I put up about you and put up about Darren were way before I come on the scene. And all them comments were nothing to do with me. All them opinions were nothing to do with me. Do you know where them opinions were from, Katie and Darren? When you've been on your lives, people have screen recorded your lives and they've posted them lives up to the FYP. And guess what, Darren and Katie? Thousands of people had their opinions, nothing to do with Lakeisha Black. I wish you the best. I know you're not going to stop, but I ain't interested, Katie, anymore. There's nothing that you can say that you haven't already said. Yeah, you'll keep trying to do damage and keep trying to get this and keep trying. Don't be Lakeisha's friend, don't do this, don't. You need to get a life. You need to go get a job. Be better. Be positive. Stop trying to beak your nose into everybody's business, Katie. And Katie, isn't it weird how every friend that I make, you come around them? It's stalking. You are stalking my friends and making people feel uncomfortable that are supporting me. And if they do support me, Katie, you go up in the box to ostracise them. Then you start making them feel uncomfortable. This is what we've got with you on video. Even with Jess's the other day. She said the most horrendous stuff about you, Katie. And everybody knows it. But yet again, Katie wanted to give Jess a pass the other day. And what did Jess do to you, Katie? She told you to fuck off. She told you to fuck off. Because you went over there knowing You can't stand her. But thought, if I go over there now because she's beefing with Keisha, she'll let me up to slag off Keisha and we can both do it together. But you didn't get what you wanted. You didn't get what you wanted, Katie, because you were a bully. You're nothing but a worthless little bully. You were bullied in school. So yeah, and when you sat there saying that, when nobody's on this app, imagine being a domestic violence advocate and having nothing to show. Telling people that they're going to be supported, you know, getting all this thousands of pounds donated and not one receipt. And on top of that, Katie, you've got a massive platform, right, of 70 to 68,000 followers. You're the influencer, but guess what? What are you actually influencing, Katie? You've got 100 viewers in your box and we've got 20. But I've only got 700 followers. My main account's obviously deactivated. That's got 28. We won't even think about that. But with Warrior as well, she's got 10k. So even if she does have 20, 30, she's not an influencer. But you are, Katie. You're the influencer. But what are you actually influencing, Katie, except for negativity? What are you actually putting out? Are you helping women? Are you uplifting women? Or are you getting other women to get into trouble for them to do your dirty work because you can't get me arrested and you can't get a case against me? So it's let's get Nisha involved in all of this and get them to go to Leeds to try and slice Lakeisha's throat because you can't win a war with me. You wanted to just put out this narrative and run with it, and you thought that nobody was going to say anything and that you'd done the job, you know, to try to bully me, to take me down that much. It's bullying. Thousands of people. You had over 10,000 people coming at me. When do you say enough is enough, Katie? When do you say enough is enough? Do you not have a stopping point? Do you get angry when you hear my voice? Do I affect your life that much that you insert yourself everywhere where I'm sat? Is it the fact that people like me? Why are you raging, Katie? Why did you wake up this morning that early and get out of your bed and take yourself to Toulouse to talk about me? Why did you go up to Nisha's when we haven't mentioned you, Katie, and incite her to come to Leeds where my daughter could have potentially lived to slit my throat? If you didn't have any involvement, why would you have been in there egging it on? Why are you always there, Katie, when dangerous activities are happening? You see, these are the conversations that I'm going to be having tomorrow because you're a very dangerous individual. And I don't mind explaining to the police what my awareness is, again, over and over, and exactly why you've been bullying me. Show them the lives, Katie, of you going up on them lives, because you can show the police all the receipts of me doing awareness lives on you. Do you know why, Katie? Why have the police not come in the 2 years that you've been trying to get me arrested? Because, Katie, you videos, people screen recorded you on your own lives. And all I did was have an opinion on what was fucking screen recorded. How can the police arrest me for that? So, because somebody's been arrested and you haven't got your own way by wanting me arrested because you come on a platform with Darren, got recorded by some other people on several different occasions, on several different accounts before I come on the scene, and because I picked some of them videos up when I went down a fucking rabbit hole, I'm a bad person. Well, you shouldn't have come on TikTok publicly. That's what the police have told you plenty of times. So, how could you think that when the police are going to come and see you, that with you showing them receipts of what you've already tried to show them for the past 2 years, and they can't arrest me for because you were on a public platform? You need to educate yourself, Katie. You need to listen to what you are saying and understand. You are behind, baby girl. I need you to stop bullying me. Stop following me around, Katie. Stop lying and saying that I'm the reason why that child passed. Because that there is disgusting. And it's despicable. It's vile. And leave me alone. Stop bullying people that want to be around me. And stop dictating where people sit. And grow up. and actually get a life.
Hello.
Are you okay, darling? How are you feeling today?
I'm alright, I was just listening to everything you were saying. I just popped out for 5 minutes.
You alright though? Everything fine?
Yeah, I wanted to work with Mary.
Oh, well, Mary, if you want to come in to have a conversation, you're more than welcome to enter the box without being phony. If you want to come and tell us your true feelings without having the slanging,
True
swearing,
feelings?
you're more than welcome to come in to have it out. But we don't need the words that you come out with, saying I'm a crackhead, I'm skinny, I'm this and that. I'm sorry, but it's uncalled for. Everybody goes through weight loss. Everybody goes through, how is it okay for you lot to fucking go fat shaming, I'm skinny shaming? Yeah? What about the skinnies? So
Yeah.
please, don't just put out for the fucking fat
What about
shaming.
us?
What about the skinny shaming? Right,
Yeah.
you better say that next time.
What about us as skinny baddies?
Yeah, so I'm putting that out there today. That's the new rules. Anybody skinny shames me, you better put that up on your FYP, okay? And have the same energy for when fucking people are doing the fat shaming.
I'm just quite shocked.
Sorry, body shaming.
Keisha, you're echoing when I talk.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm just really shocked because Mary had so much to say about Nanny Bird making fat jokes and laughing her head off. And then she goes over to Tom's going, oh, it's disgusting, the body shaming that happened on Lou, women to other women. And I'm thinking, do you not remember that you came up in the box and you were laughing at Nanny Bird squishing her dog? Have you forgotten about that, Mary?
No, that wasn't it. She was talking about how Nanny Bird would be fitting in her dog, right, let me get this right.
She was still laughing her head off at it though, wasn't she?
No, it wasn't the laugh, because even I had to say to Mary, what did you say then? I even remember, because I was thinking to myself, did she actually just say that? Yeah, she did, because I've got the image in my mind now of Nanny Bird on all fours trying to get in the dog thing. No, that's the only time I know it's believable. I know this is the truth, because what happened was Mary said it, and then I had to think about Nanny Bird in that situation, in a dog's bed, and then now thinking back to it, I've got the picture in my mind to know that yeah, you were a part of that, Mary. You had a lot to say about Nanny Bird that night,
and she didn't say anything like fat jokes, but she was pissing herself with whoever else was laughing, Keisha, at me and you, when we were saying stuff. I did hear her giggling.
And the AI pictures that we were posting as well, you had a lot to say, you had a lot of giggles, and it was quite the hypocrisy the next day going over to Tom's and acting holy when you'd been a part of that.
I was shocked about that, life. Keisha.
Well, to be honest, I wanted to go over to say to Tom, I'm sorry, Tom, but you've kind of lost your leg here, because why didn't you call her out and say, well, hold on a minute,
I think Mary, he needs to apologise to you for the misinformation tonight with your list.
Jesus Christ, I'm in shock. I am. I'm disgusted. I'm not going to go into that anyway, because...
Oh, no.
disgusted isn't the word. But they'll see the seriousness of them consequences when it comes to the authorities, which is in their hands anyways. I'm
a bit upset with Jenny as well at the moment.
Well, yeah, she's shit stirring a lot, and she's putting herself in these situations where she's casting herself out again, away from everybody.
I think she's taking the piss of everything at the moment.
Yeah, shall I tell you the truth? Shall I tell you the God's honest truth with Jenny? Right, I could have gone for Jenny right, when Ratcatcher and the rest of them wanted to take her out on that day, when all the comments turned on Jenny and said, "You're irrelevant now, Jenny, you're this, you're that," and I thought to myself, do you know what? This reminds me of me and what they all did to me. So I thought to myself, instead of me bullying her and being on the bandwagon, I thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to stoop down to what Jenny did to me. I'm not going to stoop down to Tom's level, Ratcatcher and the rest of them and what they were doing to Jenny. And I'm not going to stoop down to Jenny's level and do it back to them. I'm keeping out of it. So I made that decision. I spoke to a couple of people in the background. I said, right, leave Jenny alone. Don't say nothing to her. She's going to be up on Geraldine's. Don't try and wipe her out. Don't minimise her. Let her have the clothing. Even to the point where I was even genuinely wanting her to start the clothing up again and was genuinely happy that Angel had come back on the scene. Now, the first thing for me was, it was her shit staring. And then I realised, you know what, she don't want to make up, she don't want to coexist. She wants to shit stare. And it's become quite increasingly concerning, all of the situations that she's got herself in. So she was coming for Chris, yeah? And what's happened is, I'll tell you the truth. Me and Chris, and I take full responsibility for this, me and Chris had been going back and forth, and I said to him, listen, you know, she's doing a lot of stuff on the panel, and she's causing a lot of shit. And he sent me a message back, I sent him a message back, and we basically both agreed. It's nothing that me and Chris had already said on the panel, you know. He's already said he can't stand Jenny. I've already said I can't stand Jenny. So I've told my friend, you know, well, if she's been like this, and she's doing all this sly stuff with Nisha, and she's really not wanting to genuinely move on and have a good platform on Geraldine's, I realise what she's doing is she's trying to get everybody on Geraldine's to go into the coven because she'd be ready to drop Geraldine and start her own shit up, but that didn't go. Because when I dropped her the other day, you go with Jess because your morals ain't in place because she's Doc's children. She realised that night that me saying that put her in a fucked up situation. So what she's done then is today, she's tried to put a wedge between me, Geraldine, Chris, and some other people, her and Nisha. So I've text messaged Chris and I said, listen, Chris, at the end of the day, yeah, even if you have been on the phone with Nisha and you've slagged me off to Nisha, to be honest, Chris, I don't care and I don't hold it against you. Do you know why, Chris? Because at the end of the day, yeah, I know what vultures, I'm not going to say particular ones, but I know what some of these vultures are like. And I know that he was trying to genuinely keep the peace with all of us. He don't want to be rung up by a bunch of fucking women that want to fucking argue about the same fucking shit 24/7. Of course he's going to be saying that to that person. Of course he's going to be saying that to that person trying to tie his fucking shoelaces all the time. So what Jenny's done tonight is she's used this as an opportunity and made it seem bigger than what it is. We didn't like you, Jenny. You was causing too much trouble and animosity over on Geraldine's side, trying to take Geraldine's views by wanting to go into the coven. And that's why I stepped in and said, no, I'm sorry, but Geraldine needs to have her own army because it's Geraldine's army, not the coven. They're Geraldine's supporters. And I could see what you were doing. And I'm sorry, some of my people in the background wanted to go at you, Jenny, and I stopped them from doing that. You just couldn't Jenny, you couldn't help yourself. So when I saw that you weren't loyal, you didn't want to change, you just wanted to be that boring, bitter Jenny that always wants to have the first opinion, the last opinion, I decided then to throw you to the wolves, right? And that's where you are now. You're back with the wolves. So you're going to have to hang on to Nisha. You're going to have, because that's your last hope, Jenny, and you know it. And even tonight, you fucked up. You couldn't even be a normal person without having to mention other people that have to come up to some lives, Jenny, and correct you. So yet again, Jenny, you've got yourself in these situations because you want to fuck everything up. You think you know best. You're miserable. When you walk in the room, it's nothing but negativity. And it feels like, honestly, it feels like you suck the life out of people. And to be honest, right, maybe these women want the problem on Tom's side. Maybe Ratcatcher and the rest of them want the problem. Maybe you was actually the problem. Maybe you just make these theories up in your head, you run with it, and maybe you've actually got mental health issues. Maybe you need to take some time away to reflect on your behaviour, Jenny, and reflect on your negativities and your constant slyness to always want to insert yourself in everybody's business. You've been trying to keep all your acquaintances, and unfortunately, when you juggle that many acquaintances all at once, it doesn't work out. And that's when you'll get slapped back in the wrist. And that's what's happened to you today. You thought that you was going to sit up there with Nisha and make that all about me and Geraldine and try and make us look bad with trying to use my friend as well, Warrior, and also trying to drag Geraldine down so supporters don't support her. But what you didn't realise is you sounded bitter. You was just sat on Geraldine's and you're now sat on a panel with Nisha. Well, they're all saying bad stuff about Geraldine, but you're saying you're Geraldine's. You're not a friend. You're not a friend, Jenny. You don't know what loyalties mean. Okay? You're out for yourself. And that is why not one person wants to be around you. And them women spent weeks in their private chats without you, speaking about you behind your back. And I guaranteed in some of these private chats, where they were speaking about you, Jenny, they were probably speaking the truth. You're always moaning. You always want to know everything. You think that you can tell Tom. You thought you seduced Tom, didn't you? You thought you had Tom wrapped around your finger. And you've got a wake-up call. You thought that you could seduce Tom with that squeaky little voice. And you know what? In the end, he said, I'm dealing with a flatulent little child. I'm dealing with a little girl that can't keep her business to herself. Just like today. That is what we're dealing with, Jenny. You cannot keep your own shit up your ass. Okay? This is why you're leftless. You're left with nobody. And you're trying to put damage on me still after I gave you the courtesy. And I could have gone for you when the rest of them wanted you taken out weeks ago.
That's true, Keisha, what I sent you.
Yeah. Even if if you did sleep together, if you didn't sleep together, right? You still thought that you had Tom wrapped around your finger. And you got humbled, Jenny. So you're on mass disrupts. And you know what, Jenny? Even though Tom has put this misinformation out here tonight and had conversations about my daughter's investigation, which is 100% past the authorities' hands, I do actually agree they've had a lucky escape. They have. Because at least with them, they can actually hold things together. They can actually work together as a team. They're not undermining each other. And they're actually being patient. Whereas you, Jenny, you haven't got any patience inside of you because everything has to be about the Jenny show. You are impatient. You're petulant. You are immature. You are a flip-flop. You have no morals. You will switch, you will flip-flop, you will twist, you will lie. But that's you. I'm not here to sit and turn anybody against you. I'm not here to do what you've tried to do to me today, this week, and on countless occasions these past couple of months, to the point where you even wanted my baby daddy sister to come up. Jenny, grow up, okay? And get to know this. You ain't winning shit. You ain't taking over shit. You ain't gonna minimise anything. You ain't gonna overstand. Okay? And you need to understand you are a little girl. Okay? You were messing with the big dogs. You've had a taste of it. Now you're out of it. Stay with your Barbie dolls. Okay? Go and get a job. Go and pass your test and get a license. Fly out of the country instead of being mad at Lou's reviews because her friends have actually wanted to take her out of the country. Whereas Jenny, nobody invited you on any of them holidays because you are bitter, untrustworthy and unloyal. So, sometimes, Jenny, if things are being said, and people are saying things, not everything has to be spun on its head. Who gives a fuck if Chris was chatting me in the back? I love Chris. Let him chat me tomorrow on the phone. I don't care. He don't like me. He might not want to say he don't like me. Stop forcing the man to say it, because that will make me cry. Yeah? At the end of the day, we all say things. We all have conversations about people. We all chat shit. All they had was a message. I take responsibility, Jenny, for wanting you gone. You're bitter. Okay? And if Chris doesn't like you, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm not going to have a man going for a woman. So I'm going to go for you. And I'm going to be asked to go for you. Whether it's off anybody, because no man is going to go for a woman, first and foremost. And this is the thing, Jenny. Grow up. Yeah? Get a little bit of decency. And you know what, Jenny? You've lost all fucking respect for me, because it sounded like this week that you and Miss Blue have made up as well. Yeah. All this sticking up for Miss Blue and how bad these other women have been and what they've done and what they've put out. You are a joke. Now go and make some fucking diamond art with Blue. And make memories with Katie. And get in cars with Nisha and be a fucking... Be a criminal. Good night, Tootie. God bless. And I'm going to go to sleep now as well. Lauren, do we have anything else to say? Any guys? Anybody? Leighton? Warrior, do you want to chime in on anything else that we've got to say for these individuals tonight?